Smart24, driving business.
Good morning, welcome on board to Smart Means Business, the show that kicked off at 6:30 here on Wednesday, the 3rd of May, which also dubs as the World Press Freedom Day. Hope you're doing well, because we are here on Smart24 Television. I'm Jerome Paul Sonko, and it's good to have you. Hope you are doing well so far, and hope your morning has kicked off well. And of course, as we kickstart off your morning by giving you more of what is happening from the world of business, please do remember that it's quite important for you to invest and register yourself as an investor with Zabo. If you don't have an account, star 292 hash, use your national identification number and kickstart off your investment. Zabo is a platform by Altex East Africa, which is making it very possible for you to kickstart off your investment journey. They do have markets that open at 8:15 a.m. and the closing time on the platform is 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Well, of course, besides that, remember that with the kind of situations that we are looking deeper into understanding, you would wish to as well get part and parcel with the world of investment. The markets are only fully closed during the weekends and on public holidays. Zabo, My Money, My Future, Altex East Africa, do something new. And well, of course, as we kickstart off this, we definitely have to get deeper in understanding a little bit more from our morning call in regards to the deceased Minister Charles Okello Engola, who passed on yesterday in the hands of the person who was assigned to secure him or his security personnel. And of course, after passing on, that was during a time when Parliament was actually in session. After that, members of Parliament who got the news and information while they were in Parliament as well had this to say in regards to the late State Minister for Labour, who was definitely in that particular space, because some of the family members do say he was actually heading to an appointment in State House. Let's have more from one Honorable Alan Atugonza, Honorable Mwijuche Francis of Member of Parliament Buheju County, and Honorable Sarah Stephen, Member of Parliament Buhanguzi East Constituency, who, amongst the other things that have been mentioned here, is that they think it is high time to look out for the welfare of civil servants. Not only that, though, they do believe that there is also need to provide more money for mental health awareness in the country, because it does seem like that is another huge concern. And now members of Parliament do speak out on the death of the Minister of State for Labour, Employment and Industrial Relations.
What has happened to our colleague, to a minister, just the day after we celebrated International Labour Day, should challenge us to appreciate the conditions under which workers live. Whether it is a house helper at home, whether it is a doctor in hospital or a teacher, the person who looks after your children, the person who looks after your life, the person who prepares food for you. It should challenge us to now appreciate these conditions and make sure that people who look after our lives are paid better, are paid well. Because at the end of the day, our lives are in their hands. They will not see you happy. They will not see you enjoying your life when they have no life to live. And so for me, I don't want to blame the minister. I don't want to blame the bodyguard. But I want that we blame ourselves on why we have not gotten out of our way to appreciate the conditions under which the workers of this country live. As I talk now, the doctors are demonstrating. It's the doctors that look after us when we are sick. The teachers are demonstrating. It is the teachers that look after our children, you know. So let's appreciate the conditions under which our workers live in this country.
I think after International Labour Day, then we have a laborer committing murder. It is by all standards unacceptable. Of course, this is what we call labor. In labor, you labor. In labor, you are resilient. There are very many things that happen to you, but because you are a laborer is supposed to be a hard person, a person who can withstand pressure. So a laborer who does this after Labor Day. So to me it's pathetic. It was an ultimate price. It was uncalled for. You can't end the life of your boss whatsoever. I think he has done, because he had options. He could have requested to be transferred. He could have requested redress from his bosses or from the bosses of the minister. So to me, though we feel if you are an enemy within, is a dangerous one. This was an enemy within. He was could come. It is because he didn't expect this enemy. So to me, we really need more training. These armed forces should go for routine training and routine checkup in terms of the mental state of a person who has a weapon. The way he behaved, it showed a person who is having issues, maybe. To me, that was what I sought. It may be a mental case if he had not been checked. Yeah.
The issue to do with salaries is something unconditional. One, we have to appreciate one thing, that money can never be enough. But the truth is our salaries do vary. I sit on the Committee for Presidential Affairs, where Office of the President and President's Office is, together with ISO and ESO. And we looked at the salary scales of the soldiers. The truth is the money is still low. We tried to recommend for an increment so that these people can also have their salary scales elevated. That is the very truth. Money is still at the low end, but also government, I believe, is trying to look into that. But nevertheless, this cannot be equated to life, because Uganda is greatly endowed with quite a number of activities, a number of resources that can never let anyone go to get to this point of making someone lose his life.
And of course, the bigger headlines everywhere from the different tabloids and mentioning different news sites and everything was relating around a Ugandan minister shot and killed by his bodyguard, who in turn also apparently committed suicide. And what happened was, when you look at the fact that there is a video that was trending on social media after he was done shooting his boss, the gentleman or the security personnel was actually seen or noticed going around the neighborhood shooting bullets in the air before he actually shot himself down as well. That was in the saloon. And of course, some of the people who actually, the eyewitnesses who actually closed before he actually murdered himself, do say he was actually claiming not to have been paid in time. And that is one of the other reasons. Now, of course, he has been the Ugandan State Minister for Labour, Employment and Industrial Relations, a retired Colonel, Charles Okello Ngola, who was shot at his home in Kampala yesterday. And of course, the minister's side aide de camp Ronaldo team also sustained several injuries and was rushed to Mulago Hospital for treatment. And obviously, when you look at this, after he was shot in his residence in Chanja, so residents of Chanja were actually left in lots of shock because of the bullets that they were hearing yesterday. And obviously, when you come to think of it, The ministers have been highlighting the fact that, well, it is also very important to look at the fact that, one, ministers really need more security. And then also, what Honorable Mwinyuche Francis has mentioned, that when you look at the state of the nation currently, is that most of the public servants are also crying foul due to the fact that they need payment, or urgent payment in time, and the working conditions that they are in are not favorable enough for them. Big one, big discussions there for the government. May the soul of the minister rest in eternal peace. Now, besides that, let's cross over to the press review this morning to see what is happening in there. All right, now with the press review, we start with the New Vision, where this is Angola, the battle-hardened soldier, killer guard worked for Mukula, had bank loans, witnesses account. This is the New Vision giving you more details regarding that same situations. And then also behind the row between the Speaker of Parliament and Minister Kafuzi as they were clashing in Parliament. Huge one in there. Now, Ugandan media houses are set to write joint editorial on press freedom this day as the world celebrates World Press Freedom Day. Now, besides that, poultry farmers tipped on proper management as more detail coming in here from the New Vision this morning. And of course, following up more of how what should be remembered of the deceased and why we should be celebrating his lives as well. Then also the security experts are speaking out on the conduct of ministers' guards, what needs to be changed. Also, the New Vision gives you more details. Now, the diaspora community calls for more investment and employment opportunities. Another report by the New Vision this morning. You can get yourself a copy and see what has been highlighted in there. Now, also, Uganda and the Netherlands have agreed to commit on strengthening cooperation. That is what the New Vision is highlighting this morning. Now, also from the press review as well, we do have the Daily Monitor. Now, what does the Daily Monitor have on its head, among its headlines? It is actually showing Angola killer was a reject, according to what is highlighted in the Daily Monitor. Now, the Daily Monitor also says, guard from hell. Minister Charles Okello Angola loses his life to the person assigned to secure him. And besides that, the World Press Freedom Day, democracy dies in darkness. The Daily Monitor also giving you more as members of parliament pass anti-homosexuality bill again. Yesterday, the voting was done for the anti-homosexuality bill again. That means they await for President Yoweri Museveni to pass it into law again, if at all he does so, because he had returned it again to Parliament. And then also lastly, the Uganda-bound truck set ablaze in Kenya. Protests. Daily Monitor is actually giving you more details regarding that, so you can definitely have it all as the president orders official burial for Minister Angola. So that's it for the press review this morning. As we sum it up that way, we now cross over to give you more of what is happening on ground around the Kampala CBD with the traffic updates, for you to at least have a glimpse of what does seem to be a busy traffic jam atmosphere in the past few weeks in Kampala. I think if you've been able to notice this, you will agree with me that most of the routes leading to the city, or most of the routes that are actually leading to Kampala, are really tight when it comes to the traffic. And this time around, traffic starts from as early as 7, rushing over to 10 o'clock in the morning. But besides that as well, you get to realize that traffic jam has actually been one of the key highlights of the month of May since we started. That is 1st May. And so you never know. Andrew Berige is at the former clock tower this morning to at least give us more of the observation, to at least observe for us the kind of atmosphere or what is happening there currently.
Thank you very much, Jerome, and a very good morning. And as we are around here at the clock tower, observing the traffic atmosphere, how the vehicles are actually moving in all here, heading to the different destinations. But as always, according to the overall look of the situation here, it seems to be a little bit mildly congested. And when I talk about mildly congested, it doesn't mean it's heavily congested, and neither does it mean it's lightly congested. So it's 50-50 according to the look of things. But there are quite so many pedestrians, definitely, that are passing by, so many border people, cyclists, and so many other related vehicles. Now, looking at the way on my back, of course, taking a look to the personnels that are coming in from areas like Kampala, and you're heading towards Entebbe, you get to realize that it's quite a little bit, friendly. Most especially if you're going to pass via the Entebbe Road junction around as you're breaking off Kampala Road and you're planning to come towards Entebbe. Yeah, it seems to be a little bit okay. Maybe you will be just a little bit hampered with along in the middle in there, but as you're coming straight, heading towards Entebbe, and you're heading to areas like Chibuye, you're heading to areas like all those areas at Entebbe Road, it seems to be a little bit quite very friendly according to the look of things here. And yeah, the vehicles are moving so freely. Yes, and the traffic officers definitely doing the best to make sure that they keep the traffic intact to avoid unnecessary accidents which could happen due to abuse of traffic rules. So that is how it's looking like here, heading towards Entebbe. Now taking a look at the people that are coming in from Zambia, Kansanga, Kawalagala. Yes, just a little bit, vehicles held for quite a few intervals of time according to the look of things, but of course in a shorter time possible they will be released. But looking at the fact that there are vehicles coming in from Kampala heading towards Entebbe might cause a little bit of delay for the people that are coming in, that is from Kabalagala, and you're planning to come to town and other related destinations. Because at the look of things, some of the vehicles coming in from Kampala Road, some are heading towards Entebbe, and others are breaking off to head to Zambia, Kansanga, Kabalagala. But now the people coming in from Kansanga, Kabalagala are just a little bit held here to go to other different destinations. But that's the overlook of things. Of course, they have been held for just about 5 minutes back. And yeah, if you're coming in from Kansanga, you're coming in from Zambia, and you're planning to come to town, you might be a little bit delayed to reach the right time that you need. You could probably try other alternative routes. For example, you can link towards Access Road and connect straight to the Ginger Road traffic lights junction. And probably it would be quite a very friendly part for you to reach in town in the right time that you need to reach. But if you're planning to use the clock tower, you might be a little bit delayed. According to the look of things, many vehicles coming in from Kampala are heading towards Entebbe, and that is causing the delay we are observing right there. Yes, now away from there, as we take a look, definitely if you're coming in still from those areas and you plan to connect and you're coming to town, taking a look at, of course, Entebbe Road here, which connects all the way to Kampala Road up there. Yes, there are quite many vehicles. Yes, it's a little bit congested. And so for those people that are coming in from Entebbe now and you're coming to town, this might be a little bit quite tricky for you. Unlike those that are coming in from Entebbe and they're coming to town. Yes, those coming to town heading to Entebbe, you're quite on a bigger advantage that you can reach your required destination in time. Probably the reason being is that majority of the people are coming towards Entebbe, coming towards work, and all those areas that are connected on the Entebbe Road, all those areas on the Entebbe Road around Entebbe, and they are coming to work, and that explains the congestion because yeah, majority Entebbe is largely of a residential area. Majority go there to work, for shelter, going back home away from work. And now they're coming to Kampala to execute business and also report to the workplaces. So now vehicles coming in from Entebbe have just been released to go to the different destinations. But it's been quite a delay. Like I said, if you're coming in from Entebbe and you're coming to town, and probably this is the route you're going to connect to, you are going to be delayed a bit. So anticipate that probably. And in case you could find an alternative, which might not be as easy, because this could be the best spot that you will connect towards town, which will be quite okay for you. Well, if you can still connect all the way from Chibuye, you connect to Natete, then you come to town, but that is still quite very long. It's better you just come here and you be patient a little bit as you're heading towards your workplace and other related destinations to execute business. So that is the situation around. The traffic officers, of course, taking control over this traffic atmosphere here to ensure that there is no accidents and, of course, abuse of traffic rules, as in some instances which we experience just right here on these very junctions. Well, that is it for the traffic updates this morning. I'm Andrew Barige, and today we've been at the clock tower observing the traffic atmosphere. Back to studio with Ijora.
The construction and the final text on the Kampala flyover at the same spot are still ongoing to ensure that by the end of this year it will all be done and dusted. After the break, though, we return with Karibu East Africa and the latest from the SMB International News. Good morning.
Smart24, driving business.